You were hoping someone would say something useful, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
I was for a sweet lead-in.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. And there was no sweet lead-in, but we are your sweet lead-in. And we're Rabbit Troop Sucks, so welcome back. We are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. Next to me, as always, is Mike.
Hello.
and next to me is Collin as well.
Hey.
Well, today we're going back. I feel we've been practicing mainly on some films that are, I don't know, a little more 2000s. We're going to hit up some 90s real quick. But with this said and done, we are back, I think, to a classic age, 1985. 1985 with two huge heavy hitters in this movie, especially for the time. We have Tom Hanks and we have John Candy. So let me open with this. Collin, do you have any John Candy movies that you like? Are you...
I've never really been a huge John Candy fan, but I've definitely seen a handful. I saw Splash.
Oh, yeah, you saw Splash with Tom Hanks.
Sure, yeah.
Duh, we were thinking of connections of people in this film. Did you like Splash?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I say this because I will say... John Candy is absolutely one of my favorite actors. I would just easily say of all time. I think when he passed in the 90s, it was totally terrible. I, with Mike, watch a lot of John Candy movies seasonally. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We get to see him in Home Alone. I like watching through the summer vacation, or the great outdoors. I mean, John Candy is pretty endless for me. So to see any John Candy movie is like, honestly, like a little peek back home for me. It's just like a very homey, and everything I've ever read or ever heard about John Candy has been nothing but positive. Like apparently he was just apparently he was just the nicest guy, and so I always like seeing him, and I think that's super cool. Mike, you got a favorite John Candy?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Planes, Trains.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I mean, they're all, like you said, they're seasonal.
I know. When we get into fall, I watch Uncle Buck.
Yeah. What about Wagons East?
I have only seen Wagons East a couple times, and I think that's the way Wagons East should be watched.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, we just sometimes we just let it go.
Spaceballs, maybe.
Oh yeah, Spaceballs classic. See, you're in on the John Candy train. You didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have other people in this movie as well. We have Rita Wilson, who eventually becomes, in real life, Tom Hanks' wife. Welcome back, Tim Thomerson, who is John Reynolds, who you all might remember as Jack Death from Trancers. So go back and listen to our Trancers episode. There's a whole series of Trancers. We've only watched part one, but I'd get back on the Trancers train at some point in time.
Yeah.
But he's back. Gedde Watanabe. He plays at Toon. You will know him as Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles. I would love to do Gung Ho at some point in time, and he's been in other films as well. And so, yeah, you get some notable people and a fun movie. And I feel a lot of people have not heard of this film, and Collin was one of them. And I don't mean that as a weird thing. Tom Hanks is a huge person. And someone saying, like, I haven't heard of this film, this movie often gets brought up. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, neither am I.
Mike, are you surprised?
I too am not surprised. No, I mean, you kind of pointed out earlier, there's that divide between, like, 80s comedy Tom Hanks and, like, mid-90s and onward, whatever the fuck Tom Hanks is doing now.
I don't know. What is Tom Hanks doing now?
Did he make that shitty Uncle Otis movie or whatever?
Well, he was in a new Wes Anderson film, but he was just, one of like 24 people in that
right.
Film. He was a submarine captain in an Apple film. Okay. That was a few years ago. He was in a robot movie too, and that was an Apple film. I didn't watch that. It seems like a movie I'd totally watch. Tom Hanks in a robot.
I saw that. It was okay.
That was the vibe I was getting. Like when you want to watch an okay film, watch this one. I'm like,
Finch, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone got a favorite Tom Hanks film?
No. I think that's kind of the problem with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it out big. I could watch Big probably more on the regular. So I think it's an easy default because it's more lighthearted. Also a fall film that I watch because it's very fall-y. They go to this like fall carnival and, that machine turns him big.
It does. It does turn him big.
He gets real big.
Yeah. Well, I was in Philadelphia last year, and they had I was at like a boardwalk, and they had a Zoltar machine.
Yeah. Did you play it?
Yeah.
Did you get like a card?
Yeah.
Did you save it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't remember what it said, but I have it still.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would totally play it as well. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Hanks is classic. So the idea that many people don't know this film and John Candy's in it, oh my God. And I brought this movie up. A big pull to this movie was Mike and I have talked about doing this movie before. Mike and I have watched this movie together several times over the years. And then my father-in-law was recently in town, and he's like, obscure movies, what about that? And he brought up two, and I'll mention another one off air. I was like, yes, to both of them. But I was like, Volunteers would be a really good one. And yeah. And I like this film.
I do too. This might be my favorite Tom Hanks film.
This film delivered me pleasure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I kind of came in a little cold on it, and I definitely caught myself laughing quite a bit. So
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah, this movie seems like some kind of throwaway. And I think I've mentioned on this podcast before, Mazes and Monsters. If you ever think about watching it, think again. It's not even funny to watch. It is a horrible train wreck and a damnation of a film. So it is a piece of junk. Don't ever watch that. That is not this movie. Going to the synopsis, 1962, after Yale graduation, womanizing Lawrence flees a gambling debt and his rich dad won't pay. He takes his roommate's place at the Peace Corps as a volunteer in the Thai Golden Triangle with two other PCVs. Will he survive 2 years? I think I was saying last podcast that I was getting over, I guess, sinus infection. Still doing it, so sorry if my voice sounds weird. I remember even last time reading the summary, I couldn't even say calamitous when I was reading it. I had to change it because as I started saying it, it was like doing weird things to my throat. I'm like, I can't talk anymore. Calamitous. So yeah, sorry if my voice kind of cracks out here and there, but it won't deter the good time that we'll have in this film.
No.
Starting with Lawrence doing a bunch of gambling.
Yeah. This is like what, some kind of like backroom gambling den.
I guess.
Yeah. I think they're playing I don't know what game they're playing. Probably poker.
Like very, very vague.
Yeah, some kind of card game.
They're playing high stakes.
They're playing gin rummy.
With card. They're playing Go Fish.
Yeah.
Go Fish, $10 million.
Was it War? Is that the one?
I love playing War.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's kind of betting big, high stakes kind of stuff. Lawrence has a lady with him.
Yes. Bootsy?
Bootsy. Yeah. Bootsy's fucking into it.
Oh, Bootsy is having a grand old time.
She's having like a slight crisis.
Yeah, like an orgasmic crisis.
Yeah.
Bootsy's, I mean, super into the gambling situation.
Yeah, like
her boyfriend might be killed, but Bootsy's cool.
Like a Lady Chatterley Victorian style crisis. Yeah, no, she's really into it. She's like moaning, yes. And Tom Hanks is playing against a gentleman, Cicero, I believe.
Yeah, Cicero.
Because nobody bluffs Cicero. But Cicero's very upset because they think he might be being bluffed. And he was. But Tom Hanks won.
Yeah.
Many monies.
Yeah, by a couple $1,000s. This is 1962. So a lot of money. Cicero's pissed. Yeah. Tom Hanks definitely establishes his rigid, rough character and who he is right away. Very privileged, thinks he could buy his way out of anything, and if there's ever a problem, maybe daddy's the last resort with all of his wealth. Because the way he's talking to this guy is not how I would talk to any gentleman who could beat the piss out of me. Cicero's a big dude, and Tom Hanks is basically just shit talking him the whole time, being really sarcastic. It's really funny to watch, but I'm like, oh my god, that dude's gonna kill you. Like, you just won $2,000+ and now you're making fun of him and basically calling him an idiot. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I totally thought that the accent was fake. Like
Cicero's?
The Tom Hanks was putting on like a fake Southern accent that he was only doing for the game to like hide who he was or something. But he sticks with this accent throughout the whole movie. And
I think
really
it's
terrible.
meant to be like a transatlantic accent.
That's what I was
exactly.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mean that like almost like well-to-do?
Well, yeah. So like,
Yeah, we've talked about this.
yeah, like it's a learned manufactured accent that like wealthy East Coast people would adopt in that time frame.
Yeah, but it sucks.
I mean, he wasn't doing it very well, as
Yeah.
you pointed out. But yeah, I think that's what it was meant to be.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's nice that he walks out and you're like, wow, this guy's like the man about town. He's with
Yeah.
Bootsy. He's up $2,000 plus. And I like this bar owner, amongst other things, apparently. He takes the money right out of his hand. He's like, great, now you owe me $14,000. I was like, shit. I do like the relationship that they have. Tom Hanks swings around the bar, takes a bottle of Jim Beam, and just starts drinking it. If I were the owner, I wouldn't care at this point. The guy owes me $14,000 and just paid me
Just
$2,000.
add it to the tab
Right.
at that point.
And he highlights, the owner that is, that the $14,000 needs to be paid. He's graduating. He's a real shitbag of a student. He's never really met anyone of this guy's awkward and awful character. And the money is owed. And Tom Hanks, Lawrence Bourne III, decides, well, there's a basketball game. I'm going to bet on the Lakers. Let's do double or nothing. It was a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. So if he lost, he was going to end up owing $28,000. Is that correct?
Yes, it would be double. He also calls certain, I don't know, qualifiers on the bet. Like, I can't remember exactly. I might have some sketch notes as like lock the Lakers in by like 2 points and stuff like this. I would definitely not be getting specific with bets at that point in time. I would not want to be like, oh, I will only win if the spread is this. That is yeah.
I don't know sports bet. He mentioned a VIG at some point. I only know that from other movies.
Is that a person?
No.
Is that the debt owed? Is that the like?
I think it's like the interest.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That like immediately starts.
Yeah. But so I just looked it up. $28,000. What do you think that is in today's money?
Oof, I would say at least $250.
Like $250,000.
Yeah.
You were correct. It's like
Oh, wow.
It's like 280. But yeah.
Wow.
Did it?
Nice.
Yay! Hey, sometimes you record late at night and just mathematical facts pop up.
Yeah.
I did it, everyone. I won nothing. If that was ever asked for me on a trivia night, I wouldn't have even come
No,
close.
100% not.
When the stakes were high, I was asleep in bed.
Yeah, but can you imagine, like, the spoiler alert, he does not win that
No.
wager. Can
They
you
show him at graduation listening
Yeah.
on the radio.
yeah, as the game is being lost. Cicero's there also.
Yes.
But can you imagine being 22 years old? I just graduated from college. I owe some crazy Italian person $250,000.
Yes, if I was in Tom Hanks's situation.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
In my life, not a chance.
I would just kill myself.
Right.
Yeah.
They would have been like, you owed me $1,000 and I killed you. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, so graduation is there, and Cicero and the boss are there. Lawrence's parents are there. Before we even get there, we get to see Bootsy a little more, and we get to meet Kent. Kent is the roommate, and he highlights that he's going to the Peace Corps. Then we go to the graduation.
Kent is sleeping outside of his dorm door because
Tom Hanks is having
Tom
sex
Hanks
with
is
Bootsy.
fucking Bootsy.
Yes.
Very, very loudly.
And we learn that Bootsy is the valedictorian for over the school over something, and Kent is like, I just can't believe it. Like, this guy's like dating beautiful women who are
Right.
smart, has a sports car, has unlimited cash. Like, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I bring this up because we will see Kent again, a bit of an integral figure.
Yeah.
But after the graduation, we jump right back to the house, and Tom Hanks very casually and very condescendingly to who his father is and everything. Basically just says, I need $28,000. People are going to kill me, so not a big deal. Won't happen again. His father says one of the funniest damn things here. He's like, you've basically always been a failure. You're always given opportunities. You never succeed. I knew the day we came home with you from the adoption agency. He's like, what are you talking about? I wasn't adopted. And the father kind of collapses and he goes, can you just give me this one fantasy? I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
That was that you just got dad spanked.
Yeah.
Yikes. Even your dad doesn't watch it.
No.
No
one likes this kid.
Yeah.
Except for Bootsy.
Yeah, but Bootsy's kind of gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking Mike because he's driving a really nice sports car that I was like, the first thing I would have done was sold that sports car. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cars didn't cost very much back then. I'll do internet.
Well, the dad says no to all this. He says, you're going to be a better person. You're going to build character, but I can't just buy your way out of this. Tom Hanks has a valid point. They're going to beat the piss out of me, probably kill me. So you really need to do this. The dad says no, no, no. And Tom Hanks, as Cicero, is pulling up bolts, gets in his car and leaves. But did either of you catch the scene? The dad starts negotiating with Cicero.
Yeah.
He's like, basically, let's turn this into an installment loan situation.
Yeah, he's like, trying to wheel and deal.
Yeah, he's like, okay, guys, you want your money? I bet my son could pony up $1,000 by Tuesday, and we get on like a $500 weekly payment. I was like, okay. I bet Cicero would have been like, that's fine. Like, I am now talking to this guy who's going to pay me. I do want this money. So if Tom Hanks just stayed, things maybe would have been a little differently.
Maybe, but he had to fucking get out of there.
Yeah, he did.
That Corvette in 1962 cost $4,000.
We should go back in time.
Yeah, correct.
With a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of space in the present time.
I think, what are you going to do with all these Corvettes?
I'm going to sell them immediately.
Yes. I'm going to park them in my garage. My garage existed in 1962. I'll like Back to the Future it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you just bring like a couple here and then we just buy a warehouse. We sell those initially and then we buy a future warehouse. I mean, duh, everybody. What are you guys doing with time travel?
Time travel economics 101.
I'm buying sports cars and warehouses. There, slammed him on down. Can't have it anymore. So I can't have nice things in warehouses.
But so he's on the run. Cicero gives chase in his pink Cadillac. And we're treated to like an Indiana Jones style map of the Eastern Seaboard, kind of highlighting their trajectory.
Yeah, so Kent agrees to give up his place to date Bootsy.
Oh, yeah. Tom Hanks drives to the airport that Kent is leaving from.
And signs his pink over to
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I got to get on this plane. Like, it's life or death. He's like, I want the car. And Bootsy, he's like, fuck Bootsy, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really pissed about the car.
He was not upset. Yeah, he was not happy about the car.
Cicero tries to jump on the plane window unsuccessfully. That's fun. They delodge him.
Yeah. He was successful briefly.
Yeah. I mean, he did what only a mortal man could do.
Yeah.
And that proves again, Rabbit Troop sucks. Cicero's only mortal. So if that was your new drinking game, Cicero's only mortal, boom. You either are going to or not take a drink. I don't know which is better.
I don't either.
Well, we're on the plane and we immediately get to meet Tom Tuttle from Tacoma, Washington, which is John Candy. Again, I miss John Candy all the time. I think the biggest thing, is he was so funny, and I see him, again, seasonally, that just every time I see him, his smile is infectious, and he is talking craziness when we first meet him. He's like, I have this background in engineering, I'm the guy building the bridge, and he's just like, he's kind of like planes, trains, and automobiles, but he's like very technical about it. He's more robotic. He doesn't stop because he's got a big mouth and is not listening. He doesn't stop because he's a robot on a mission. He also divulges that he is trained in
psychological and motivational management.
Thank you. I have this in my notes, which is basically I am going to use the power of psychology to manipulate and get what we want, whatever we want. And everyone is very interested. And he is the only person to have a degree in this in the Peace Corps. And they're looking into this. So this is going to be a great idea because he knows all about the mind and all about manipulation and all about the human condition. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. And he experiences a lot of that.
He does.
But yeah, so Lawrence is not excited about this new friend. So he hails the flight attendant over to send a telegram.
Yeah, I like that. 1962, she's like, I don't know, I could, I guess, tell the pilot, scribble something down, he could radio someone.
Yeah, so he writes a note on a vomit bag. That's to the effect of accidentally joined the Peace Corps, get me home. Thanks.
How much in real life do you think that message would cost? If you have to telegraph someone in today's age, and it wasn't an emergency, and you're just being cute, how much do you think an airline would charge you if there was some kind of equivalency?
I mean, most airplanes you can buy Wi-Fi for $9.
I know, but I guess there's not a real comparable situation. It's that seems like it would be such a luxury on that plane. They would have charged you $10,000 to do that.
Yeah, well,
I bet it's one of those things where it's so ridiculous that it's comped basically.
Yeah.
Where, they'll just
this guy had the gall to ask this. Fuck. Okay.
Well, then they read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his message was all like, Jack, I don't know what his exact message was, but it was like, get me home. I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was super crazy.
It's like I'm on an airplane. I want to talk to a celebrity. Like, sure. Boom. You could do it. 25 grand. Like, cool. I'm on a Zoom call. How's your flight? Awesome. Cool. Enjoy the peanuts. Bye. Thanks, Snoop Dogg.
I mean, you can use your cell phone in an airplane. They just don't want you to know that.
They get so angry if you do that.
Only if they find out.
Okay.
They're not going to find out. No? Okay. So he gets tired of talking to Tom Tuttle, and he goes for a little walkabout through the cabin, and he runs into Beth Wexler,
Yes.
played by... They weren't married at the time, were they?
No, I think the IMDb trivia was this is the second time that they met, and I think they were married in 88, and this came out in 85.
Okay. And this actress's name is
Rita Wilson.
Okay.
And that's Hanks' wife.
Yeah. And he takes an immediate physical shine to Beth Wexler.
Yeah, it's probably because there's an empty seat next to her and she's asleep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a real ick vibe that goes on throughout this flight.
Well, he's kind of an icky guy.
Oh, yes.
So they start making small talk. She thinks he's the person he's impersonating. But he
Professor
Professor yes. But it does come out that he is an imposter, an Ivy League schlemiel.
Yes. That is a future band name. Ivy League schlemiel.
Yeah.
That gets you into places. Yeah, and he wants out immediately. So he immediately asks out the flight attendant again. She says, "Hey, I'm married or engaged. I can't remember which one." He's like,
But she seemed game otherwise.
She would have been.
Yeah.
She was hit. He was
Yeah.
62. He was in a tuxedo.
Right.
Like a cocktail tuxedo.
Sorry, it was a dinner jacket.
He was in a dinner jacket. He has weird, ample booze. He always has cigarettes somehow. Yeah, I mean,
He has a pocket full of Wrigley's spearmint gum.
Oh yeah, he took that from the plane.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he got Kent's luggage at some point in time because he is changing
No,
clothes.
clearly he did. Yeah.
He grabbed the bag from him as he was getting on the plane, and then as soon as Cicero fell off, he just tossed the bag behind him and went to his seat.
Do you think there was like a piece of luggage though that was like
Oh, yeah.
already stored?
They might have had checked back. They're going for 2 years. They got to bring something.
I would think because I thought, wow, everyone packed really light for this 2-year trip. I would have packed more than this.
But
I
he
would have
like,
found a way.
At some point, he has like a Yale shirt, which would make sense because
Yeah.
his roommate would have had one. Yeah, he had to have his luggage. He wasn't wearing the dinner jacket the whole movie.
Yeah, and well, we get off the plane, and Rita Wilson, Beth, is just sickened by Lawrence every which way.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to wheel and deal. He sees John, and that's Tim Thomerson.
Tim
Jack
Thomerson.
Yes, John is heading up the flying and the coordinating, I guess, of all of these Peace Corps volunteers. He is immediately smitten with Beth. Beth thinks he's a very stand-up guy, and there's a little bit of chemistry maybe going on here. Maybe. I don't know. And Tom Hanks gets a telegram, and it's, "Hey, buddy, a bunch of strings were pulled because your family's rich as hell, and all the training you're supposed to go in the Peace Corps has been waived. Welcome to the Peace Corps. You're going to serve for 2 years." And was it noted that his debts were waived?
I don't
Was
know
that just kind of
was-
assumed, like, you will do this and things are cool? Like, did Tom Hanks know that?
I don't know.
Do I know that?
I don't think that was
I don't think
mentioned.
it was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more like, hey, normally this takes months to get trained up to be part of this, but we're waiving all those requirements. You're good to go.
My first letter back would be, when I do come back, what's my situation?
Yeah.
Who's going to be at the airport?
What's the VIG? What's that like?
Do you know Cicero?
Cicero has not left the airport.
Is he picking me up?
Cicero is going to be there for 2 years.
He does not let me eat french fries in his car. It is a damn shame.
Yeah. And this whole thing is very
Cicero
disappointing.
loves ice chips.
Cicero does he know pepper jack?
He loves pepper jack.
Okay. The whole thing is very disappointing for Tom Hanks or Lawrence. Because as he says, it's not that I can't help these people. I just don't want to.
Yeah, he's pretty direct about it, but
Yeah.
that's not the case. And him, Tom Tuttle, and Beth are airlifted via helicopter via John to the remote village that they'll be working. Their goal is to install a bridge from one end of the river to the next. I don't really remember why this benefits the villagers.
Well,
Initially, like, let's just like throw that out. Why do the villagers, like, why is this priority one for the villagers? I know that there's a lot of problems with this, and that's established later. But is it noted from the beginning why they're doing this first?
I don't believe it is.
I don't think so.
It's just like the Peace Corps is going to come in and like, you live by water, you should have a bridge. That's what we think.
Yeah, like I was trying to think about that throughout the movie. I'm like, I don't know if this helps with like trade. I don't know if there's like better access to fishing. Like, I really don't know, because this village needs help in other ways. I'm not trying to be like mean about it, but
No, I mean it's a pretty rudimentary village. Maybe it was like medical access, or there are a number of reasons that access to your village would be useful.
I think it's a phallic symbol. Like, you come to my village, you want to see my bridge? The first thing I'm doing is showing you my bridge.
It's just yeah.
I'm going to show your whole family my bridge, one by one. And then they're going to sketch it and hang it up in their rooms. That's right. That's how I feel about bridges.
That's a new take I've not been treated to before.
Yeah, it's the Tim Thomerson way.
I like it. Well, yeah, there's more phallic jokes to come, courtesy of Tim
Thomerson?
Timmerman.
Tim Thomerson.
John.
Yeah. Jack Death.
John Reynolds. Jack Death. They're all the same.
Yeah. But as we, they landed in the village, blah, blah, blah. And we see off in the distance, there's some communists lurking around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been warned that there is basically a gang group like wandering around, and kind of like a militia gang group. Like, there's a lot going on with that group. And then there's basically the Red Army driving around. So they were told pretty directly, you do not want to leave the jungle area that you're in, and don't go too far into the jungle itself, because you may never come back. Like, this is serious business.
Yeah.
As soon as they landed, I told Mike and Collin, I am at an age in my life, there is no way I would like to go visit places like this. I just think I'm too old. And I don't mean that dismissively of people who live in this way. I just think I would die. I think they would just be like...
You would just get off the helicopter and curl up and die.
I think they're just like, you'd just be like, you're too feeble. Like, this guy needs more water in a day than our village could give up, and we're going to let him die.
This
I would
guy's
just
always
die.
thirsty. He's got all this tea with him.
I just think, I think about it. Like, I don't mean that, like, again, like, mean to anyone or any place on earth. I have such a precise diet at this point in time. It would be hard to travel in an area like that and think I might be okay. It'd be a huge bummer.
I think it would be fun.
I mean, it would be fun.
Gonna ride that fucking elephant all over the place. Eat, I don't know, bananas, probably not. I don't know.
Plantains.
All the ladies.
There's all those
clamor for the
places in
plantains.
Thailand where you could like ride elephants and like bathe elephants, and like I think there's like elephant stables.
Yeah.
that'd
Would
be
you
cool.
ever go to one?
Fuck yeah.
An elephant stable,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would go to this.
Yeah.
If someone was like, do you want to go to an elephant stable? Of course you would say yes.
What if it was in a village like this and you had to go through all the things they did?
Yeah.
Or just to get there.
It's
that I
still,
could do.
yeah.
Yeah, like a
I mean, I would want to. That's
a
what I'm saying.
helicopter ride. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
dope.
I mean, it's not like a 2-year commitment. If it
Oh,
was a
yeah,
2-year
no, I'm
commitment,
not going
that'd
for
be
2
rough.
years.
I was just thinking days. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not thinking 2 years. I was just thinking not maybe even days, like a week. I think it would just be too long, and I would die.
Yeah.
I'd spend a week there.
I would spend a week on an airplane to spend a couple hours in this elephant corral, and
Nice.
then for a week plane
Yeah.
back. Yeah. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I would too. That sounds dope.
Would you ride the elephants?
Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
you
I'm not
ride-
going to
would
spend a week on a plane to not ride the goddamn
Would
elephant.
you stand ride them?
Oh, I don't know if
Yeah.
I could. I'd probably fall.
Like Teen Wolf.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly like Teen Wolf.
Yeah, I'm picturing my life becoming like the second Ong Bak, where he has to avenge the death of his elephant by murdering everybody.
Bro, I'm your Styles. I put on some rad shades. I put on some groovy 80s tunes.
Yeah.
You get up on there. You are Teen Wolf. Oh,
I am.
start driving around. You're on an elephant. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing at this point in
No,
time.
yeah.
I'm playing mixed tunes,
You're-
damn it. I'm wearing sweet shades.
Right. Near the elephant. Because you can't really drive an elephant.
Well,
Well, not if I'm on top
I don't.
of the elephant. Yeah, that's right.
Again, anything out of context, reach us
Yeah,
at
Mike's
True Sucks
Dropbox.com.
podcast at gmail.com. Okay, well, they're at this village. Tom Tuttle seems to be taking charge. Good. He's an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
It is noted that they do have a lot of supplies. They say they have a lot of wood. I don't believe this, but that is what John says at a point in time. There's a lot of wood, there's a lot of tools, various other things. I don't see a lot of this wood, but they do have the tools and other supplies. Yes, and basically Tom Hanks goes into a-hole mode.
Yeah.
But kind of beneficially a-hole mode.
Kind of, yeah. Tom Hanks, or Tom Tuttle, is in English, which no one can understand except for one person, narrating what they're going to do. He's like, we're going to chop down these trees. And the minute he mentions to the trees, everyone's like, no. What is the character's name?
At
Toon? At Toon. It's A-T and then T-O-O-N.
Can we just call him At?
I think that's what Tom Hanks calls him.
Let's do that. At's there, and we don't know he speaks English. Everything that he says is amazing.
Every line.
Every single line.
Gedde Watanabe.
Gedde Watanabe,
you will know as Long Duck Dong in 16 Candles.
Yeah.
As I said before, and I would like to do Gung Ho. I'm going to keep saying that.
We can do Gung Ho.
I love him in that movie.
Yeah. They're trying to figure out why everyone's bummed out about the trees, and At says, well, the problem is you're an asshole. My instinct is to do the accent, but I'm not going to because I feel like it'll be very insensitive.
Do it.
Well, I will say one thing. They are both impressed that he knows English. They both see the benefit. You can see it in their faces. Like, this guy knows English. This is going to be beneficial. But they're like, how did you know this? And he's like, I'm the hottest thing going around here. I went to, a English or American school in Bangkok for 4 years, and now I'm back. They're like, I don't believe it. And he goes, believe it, hot rod. That is one of my 2 favorite lines, and both come from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one-liners like this. He is super, super, super fun. He is, I'm going to say this, in a world of John Candy. I love John Candy, and I am going to go on record with you guys. The celebrity you would have dinner with, dead, living, or alive, it would be him. That is who I would choose.
Okay, yeah.
Just like, he would definitely be someone I would want to talk to. I am such a fan of his films. Even with him, John Candy has more of a bit role in this, less than he does, that Atoon does. Atoon is by far my favorite character. Start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
His lines, his actions, he is super fun. I love him in this film.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, the trees are sacred is why we can't cut them down. That's what he was trying to.
And I like that he now just calls Tom Hanks asshole for the rest of the movie. Hey, asshole.
Yeah, but so he and an asshole become kind of fast friends.
Yeah.
They get along.
There was a mentality noted too. He said, the villagers don't want to rush into this. We don't just go into the trees and willy-nilly cut stuff down. Like, some of these trees are sacred to us. So if you want trees, we go over there. But, like, you've got to think about this. You got to plan. Like, why are you rushing? And Tom Hanks is like, these are my kind of people. Like, why are we going, like tap, tap, tap? Like, just lounge about. We'll get this done eventually. So it doesn't surprise me that these two get along. They scheme a little bit.
Yeah, and well, so later, as they're kind of palling around, Tom Hanks is showing off some card tricks.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. And
that leads to some night gambling.
Yeah, it leads to some night gambling. Everyone loves some gambling and card playing.
Yeah, and you could tell even in the night gambling scene, it isn't just Atoon that likes Tom Hanks, Lawrence. It's the whole village.
Yeah, everyone seems pretty stoked.
And I like this scene. So Lawrence plays the house. They're playing blackjack. And I don't know, there was like 7 people at the table. I don't know how many people could be at a table. I don't think it's 7. Or it even seemed like more. And Atoon gets 21. He's the first one. He's like, all right, buddy, 21. But then everyone at the table gets 21. He's like, all right, what's going on here? And Atoon's like, we learn fast in the village. So everyone's clearly having fun. I really like it. So everyone's just like kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like the scene just like 2 seconds before this when he's like, okay, place your bets. And everyone throws chickens on the table. And he's like, whoa, slow down. We got all night. And everyone takes the chickens off.
Yeah, I like that he's already doing like the slide conversion on what a chicken's worth, like end game. And also like magical booze is appearing immediately. Atoon offers him some kind of joint. He's like, like, we grow this in the village too. So like they're all having a good time.
Yeah, everyone's enjoying themselves. Well, except for Lawrence because he's not winning, so he has to invent a new game that he calls New England baseball, which is just 5-card stud, but deuces are wild for white men.
Well, when you're down, you got to play the cards you're dealt.
Yeah.
That's all I really got.
But so meanwhile, out in the jungle, Tom Tuttle is doing some bushwhacking, looking for non-sacred trees to chop down.
Can you define what bushwhacking would be for us, Mike?
That'll be on the Patreon Dropbox tier.
Oh yeah. If you didn't know, Mike is starting an OnlyFans. So
Yeah.
you could hit him on that. It's going to be connected to the Patreon. So yeah. I will not be a participant, but feel free to write us about what you would like and Venmo us any amount of money.
It doesn't matter what you like. You're going to get what you get.
It's a ton of great content. I'm a subscriber myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're interested in a slightly husky middle-aged man ordering Grubhub a lot, you're going to love this.
Well, Collin confirmed one thing, that, originality on OnlyFans is, lacking. And you definitely have delivered that. A lot of these OnlyFans subscriptions are like, I'm going to give you one of 7 picks. Mike has taken so many. So you will get original photos and
lots
photo
of
reels. You just might get a whole video of Mike's morning. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he just films. Starts filming for like 3 hours, and he'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just him sleeping. He forgot the phone was on. It ends with his girlfriend turning it off.
The phone's always on.
Just like this movie, the phone is always on. Well, interrupting this gambling event, we get Chung Mi, who is the local baddie, who rolls up with his hairdo and a bunch of weird gang members, and he wants to play some poker. Tom Hanks is in immediately. I would have had the same reaction, but he is really mouthing off to this guy who has weapons. Mm-hmm. Don't mouth off to the guy with weapons.
No, and also, according to a testicle collection.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's trying to convey, Lawrence, this guy's an asshole. He has a testicle collection.
Yeah, that is my note. I also wrote that. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's kind of what you're known for. Sometimes I let things slide. I look the other way. I try not to be a participant in your life at that point in time. What could I do to excuse myself from your life?
I don't know.
Let me know, but I will not be there. So.
Okay.
Well, quickly after, Tom Hanks keeps mouthing off to Chung Mi. Chung Mi takes and Tom Hanks by force back to his sweet lair. I love this lair.
Yeah, it's like a fun castle sort of thing.
I love fun castles.
Yeah.
It was huge. It covered like 2 mountains, basically.
Yeah. I don't know why this guy needs to make more money. His opium business seems to be doing okay.
Well, he pretty much explains it. He's like, I need you to make this bridge. And he's like, so you're interested in the bridge? He's like, I am, because opium is money. And I want you to make the bridge because if I have it, I can get to places faster and trade routes will open and I'll make more money. But I can't remember the series of words that goes first. But he's like, opium's money. And time is like of no essence. And it gets very convoluted. And eventually Tom Hanks is like, what was time again? He's like, time is time. And he's like, what about money? And he's, money is money. He's like, this is all very confusing. Yeah. Chung Mi, I can't get over the haircut. Tom Hanks does comment on it several times.
Great, yeah.
Or the scar.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, was it like initials?
I think it
like
was
letters.
initials. Yeah.
Was it Lucille's initials?
I think it was Lucille's.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe. Lucille is his sexy assassin bodyguard.
Yes.
Maybe hooker.
She has claw fingers.
Yeah.
And is giant and is willing to kill people. And
Tom Hanks wants to fuck her.
But she is also sleeping with the boss, who is Chung Mi.
Yeah.
It's all super weird. And then they tell him what's going to happen, and Tom Hanks negotiates a deal. Basically, he wants a trip home. Chung Mi says, I'll get you whatever you want. This is kind of a confusing deal. I'm going to bring this up later because I don't know why it actually goes through. Because, well, I guess I could say it now. So they throw them out immediately. They have to go home. But there is a cutscene really quickly where Chung Mi is talking to Lucille, and Lucille's clearly wants to kill Tom Hanks. Mm-hmm. And he says, when the deal's done, you can do whatever. So, and later on, he does get a plane ticket, though. So it's very bizarre.
Yeah, but it was Coach, so clearly he just bought the cheapest one.
I know, but
As
why did he buy it at all?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it's one of those things. I mean, they bought it so that Lucille could get into the room, get close. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, so
I'm very confused.
Everyone wants the bridge. So parallel to this, we have Tom Tuttle, who you gave me shit for the bushwhacking thing. We never got to finish that thought. He gets captured by the communists, who brainwash the fuck out of him immediately.
He falls into a tiger trap by a tiger.
But yeah, because of a tiger. But he's rescued by the communists.
I love it.
And the communists, during the brainwashing, they explain to him that he needs to build the bridge because they want it.
Yes.
So I guess my question, and this is a kind of a lighthearted comedy, so I'm not going to bitch about it too much, but they were there to build the bridge. No one had to intervene at all. The communists didn't need to kidnap Tom Tuttle to get the bridge built. Tom Tuttle was only there to build a bridge. The drug lord didn't have to threaten Tom Hanks to build the bridge. They were just going to build the bridge.
I think the threats were more on the gang end was, I don't believe you're going to do this in a timely fashion, so you have 6 weeks to do it or I'm going to kill you.
So you think the threatening from the communist and the drug lord side is time frame based?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I on the communist side, I really have no idea.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think it might be, hey, this bridge is being built for the Peace Corps and local interests, but we want to ensure that it's actually for our interests. He mentioned something about the something like that.
I mean, that's fair, but
yeah, everyone's on the same team.
yeah, everyone just wants the bridge built. No one had to intervene here.
So the biggest focus is no one out throughout the entirety of this movie asks the villagers what they actually want. And so that is the background problem. They're making the villagers do all these things. Mike is correct. In the background, the Red Army is like, great, because now we could scout out more areas. And this drug army is like, great, we could have bigger trade routes. But we don't really know how the villagers feel about it. And we will. Oh, we will.
We will. So earlier, Beth had called John because she was concerned because Tom Tuttle was gone for like days.
If you were drunk, would you call her Breath?
We'll see by the end of the episode.
You called her on the phone like, hey, Breath.
Hey, Breath. Yes. The answer to that is yes. And so John shows back up in the helicopter, and he's making his intentions for Breath.
That's right.
known. But he brought a friend along this time. His friend is Mike.
Oh, yeah. John is crazy.
John is crazy.
John divulges a lot. There's a lot of Mike talk.
Yeah. He's
Mike,
like,
how did you feel about all that Mike talk?
I was into it, obviously.
Good times.
Yeah, he's like, it's just, you called and I was excited. I had to come back. It's just, it's hard because Mike and I are just so busy. And then Breath is like, who's Mike? And he's like, oh, Mike is my knife. This knife that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, he says something like, he's been my partner. We've been through some
been through so
times
much
together. I'm like, what the hell, man? That's not for me. I take the Wilson volleyball at this point in time. You do not want your best friend to be a knife.
No. But so he tells her what he's up to, but he has to leave. But he leaves her with a gift, which is some kind of ethnic statue with a gigantic penis.
Yeah. She is very alarmed immediately upon this, but he is so happy that he has presented this gift that he thinks means the world.
Well, because she was, before the Mike talk started, she was kind of into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was into him. But then he starts talking about Mike and penis statues.
Then things got real.
And she sours on it pretty quick.
Real world Thailand.
Yeah.
Volunteer style. Yeah, that is very correct. He goes 0 to crazy. I like this turn. There are other twists that happen in this movie. This little nuanced one, I did not see coming. That he has a knife that he talks to. He says just really random stuff all the time. And then he really amps it up really, really quickly. Immediately, we get another cutscene back to Tom Tuttle. He is roped and staked to some kind of campsite area, and he is telling some Red Army leader that he is mentally sound. He will never break. He is all American. He is from Washington State and is singing their fighting anthem. And he's like, no, we're going to break you. And remember, we know a little bit about Tom Tuttle, that he has studied. What was the actual degree, Collin?
Psychological and motivational management.
Nice. Yeah, he's a master of manipulation and mind control. And another quick cutscene, he is brainwashed.
Yeah, immediately brainwashed.
He is so much so that I love the Red Army leader. He's like, that's enough, Tom. Yeah. And then he's like, spouting out all the rhetoric of, communist lingo and phrases. And he's like, okay, Tom, I get it. Tom. He's very disappointed.
He is.
Yeah, he got the wrong guy.
Yeah. But once his brainwashing is complete and he knows his mission, they let him go, and he kind of stumbles back to camp, ready to build the goddamn bridge.
He's gonna do it. And Tom Hanks doesn't seem really thrilled about this. I don't really know why. Does anyone know?
Why Tom Hanks isn't thrilled about it?
Yeah, I mean, I would feel that if Tom Tuttle showed up to build the bridge, he would probably get this done faster with his know-how of engineering. Tom Hanks just seemed a little put off. Like, Tom Tuttle's like, I'm here. He's like, Did anyone catch this?
Yeah, he seemed a little put off.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was just because he's annoying as shit.
Yeah,
No, that's fair.
kind of how
I didn't know if there was
well.
supposed to be anything more to it. I was just like, the guy that knows how to build bridges, I'd want that guy there. He could tell me how to build a bridge, or what supplies I could put in a box and bring to him.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
it would be helpful.
Yeah, he should have been more excited to have him.
Yeah.
But he's back.
He is back. So we have a little bit of an interaction between, kind of right during this scene between Tom Hanks and Beth. She's struggling with a log and getting the villagers to help her move it. And she kind of confides in him. She's like, everything comes so easily to you. You know the language already. Like, you're making friends. Like, I just can't get anything done. And they kind of work together, to get this little job done. And this is kind of where we first see the first sparks of maybe some interest there.
Yes. And I would run away from John immediately if I was involved in any of that.
Well, yeah, and maybe the whole John thing soured her on people who weren't Tom Hanks.
I'd be soured on the John thing pretty quick. Like, the last guy I talked to took out a knife and was like, I talked to this thing in the woods. So we should hang out sometime.
So there are three men around here. One of them has a knife named Mike and a penis statue. One is Tom Tuttle, and the other is you. So
Right. So it's always anyone's dream. It's like, so, like, I don't know, like, are you into a threesome? I'm going to take out a knife.
yes,
I do not promote this on Rabbit Troop Sucks. Unless there's Rabbit Troop Sucks themed knives.
Oh, that could be a good merch opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not scary at all.
No, it's totally fine. But now we have a montage of
I
bridge
wrote that
building.
exactly.
Yeah.
I underlined it. Building bridge montage.
Yeah. Tom Hanks is wearing a big leaf for a hat
Yep.
for some reason. And they're building that motherfucking bridge.
Nice.
Yeah, he looks like he's like the shopkeep out of Zelda. So I appreciate that. And he knows what he's about.
That's where they based that on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was like, I know something happens with Beth. I didn't want to stumble into it. So this scene, yes, they have a bridge montage, and then there's a basically bridge party. The bridge is done. They're celebrating it, and everyone's dancing. There's martial arts exhibitions. There's food. People seem pretty happy about it. So Tom Hanks invites Beth back to his Coco Cabana that has just been made, and he's got a nice bar, and there's seats, and
Electricity.
Yeah.
gives her, I'm assuming, a cold bottle of Coca-Cola, which is amazing. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, she's super happy, and she's pretty smitten with him. They actually have a really nice talk. They dance a little bit. They flirt with one another. They open up to each other. There's really no jokes. It's just kind of lighthearted realism. And then he escorts her back home. She asks him in, and he says no. And he admittedly says he has feelings for her. Then things go to Nuttown.
Yeah. John and Mike are back.
I'm glad you included Mike on
Yeah,
that.
well, they're a team now.
Yeah, that's right. Duo.
He's all decked out in like a ghillie suit or whatever. He's like the camouflage hat and the face paint.
Yeah.
Doesn't she say something? Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you go for it, Collin.
I don't have it.
Okay.
Shoot. I thought it was something like, it's cool, you and your clown outfit.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was. Like, it's not a clown outfit.
No,
Like, this
she
is my
does
outfit
refer
for
to it as a
duty.
clown outfit.
Yeah.
This is John, the clown outfit aside. I don't think this is very funny.
I also would not find it funny. That's not how I like to wake up. Yeah, so he goes crazy and professes his love, and he's like, I'm into a lot of other stuff. I'm not just a pencil pusher. I actually work for the CIA, which turns out to be true. There's like a ton of twists going on. He's like, I'm spying on other things. I don't really work for the Peace Corps, but I fly people here, but I'm into something bigger. And you're like, okay, like that makes sense at the time. So you're like, wow. So that's kind of weird, but he goes nuts and she does not want to go with her. And he says something like, oh, it's just chloroform. And you don't see her, but he chloroforms her. He chloroforms a rag. And then you see at Toon and I think Tom Hanks is there, that John carries her out, and it looks like maybe it's something consensual, that she's hugging him, or they're happy.
It just At sees it. At and the monkey.
Yes.
Tom Hanks is not there.
But then we quickly have the he says my second favorite comment. Doesn't Tom Hanks see him now?
No, Tom Hanks, like, it's the next... It's sometime later during the party, and he's like, where's Beth? And At's like, I don't know, big guy.
Oh, no, that's a little bit later.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is what I got. Yeah, I think it's just the next day. We're right there.
Yeah.
That he's like, whoa, like, where did she go? And Ad is very aware that she left with John. And then Collin, you gotta dial it in. This is my second favorite comment of the movie.
He's like, she's no good for you, big guy.
He says it so sincerely. I love At so. Like, At is a loyal, funny friend all throughout this. He's intelligent, a lot of shenanigans. Yeah, I love At. Definitely favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tom Hanks is bummed and was like, screw it. I am going to leave without her. I'm going to get this money. I think this is when a coach plane ticket arrives.
Yeah,
He's
this
like,
is when Lucille shows up with her little goodie bag of money and plane tickets.
Again, what is this staged effect? A Lucille is here to kill him. Like, there is no pretense to this. Why did you buy him a plane ticket?
Yeah, who knows? But
it just seems like a lot of work in 1962.
Right.
Not only did you buy a plane ticket, you have a printed version of that.
so they're in the jungle. He had to, like, go to a city and get a travel
Like,
agent.
You
Yeah.
went to an airport, you flew there, you bought a ticket, and you flew back, and you're like, here's the printed copy of the ticket that I just got for you. Or he got it, mailed, and it took, a month. But I don't know what kind of mail you're getting when you're some weird jungle cult.
He's a huge drug dealer. I'm sure he's in and out of airports all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, he's got connections.
That's fair. I forget how drug lord rationale and money works.
Yeah.
Carrot Rabbit Troop sucks. If you want to donate to the Warlord Fund that we're starting,
Okay.
You could buy us snacks. You could buy us, I don't know, imagine you come down, record, and you're like in a sweet arcade, man.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, cool, I just donated my, antique Pac-Man machine. I appreciate that. You can donate that to me if it works and is in mint condition.
Yeah.
I'll play it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, cool.
We'll put it in the HQ.
Yeah.
But, so Larry thinks, in addition to the goodie bag that she has, that Lucille is also there to bang.
Yeah.
At keeps popping up to say, hey, asshole. Hold your worm, asshole.
Another fun comment.
Yeah. But he's ignoring. He's like, you know what, At, fuck off. I'm trying to get my dick wet here. But ultimately, he's pouring a drink and she's trying to stab him with her razor fingers. And At comes in and, like,
Yeah, she's
like
about to
karate kicks him.
Yeah,
right
like
out of the way.
at one point in time, she's behind him with both hands, and again, she has claw hands, and she's about to thrust down on his shoulder blades.
Yeah.
What a terrible way to die. If that's going to kill you, you would bleed out for, I would assume, hours in an agonizing death. But she goes to do it, and basically jump kicks Tom Hanks out of the way, and she stabs down into a tiki bar and is now stuck and can't get out.
Yeah, this leads to
really weird scenes.
I enjoyed it. I got some giggles out of it, but it was really weird. So one of the running gags with Lucille is that you can't understand anything she says, even if she's speaking English, presumably.
That is correct.
But they're questioning her, and she is responding, and there are subtitles. And the only way that At is able to translate is because he is visibly reading the subtitles.
Right. Yeah, he looks over.
Yeah.
He breaks the fourth wall. He's reading what's on the screen. I didn't see it coming.
No one did.
Especially for 1985.
It was ahead of its time. Because they used this gag in, like, the Austin Powers movies a couple times. I can't think of a reading the subtitle gag previous to this movie.
I think we could have really changed the dynamic of Jabba's palace if we started doing crap like this.
My God.
people playing with subtitles. They would have
been. Hold on, yeah.
Princess Leia looks over. Like, Wootihi.
I see, yeah, yes.
Yeah, the fans would have loved that.
Yeah, it would have changed the scene. But so they figure out what's going on, and that that John has kidnapped what's-her-face,
Well,
Beth.
I have a question. Do we
Yeah.
ever figure out what happens to Lucille after this?
Yes.
She's been stuck to that bar.
No, there's when they go to the castle the second time to rescue Beth, there's an offhand one-liner where he's like, "Hey, did you tie Lucille up?" And she's like, "No, she did it herself."
All right.
So Lucille
missed
is
that.
just calmly tied up.
Yeah.
sweet.
She's into that.
So we never see Lucille again.
No.
She kind of gives an equal trade. She's the one who says, what's going on. Beth has been kidnapped. If you want to go see her, this is what's happening. So they don't kill her, and I guess she ties herself up. So, weird. I wonder what they do. What are the jungle authorities like?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
Well, now they go to break into the castle. Storming the castle is one step away from Big Trouble in Little China for me.
Yeah.
This castle is ominous, and it's awesome, and it's like a video game. You're going like mini boss, like henchman, mini boss. It's kind of fun for me. It's all shenanigans. It's super weird. I mean, if you detailed out the next 10 minutes for me in like rich, vivid details, like illustrious adjectives, and you were like, Tom Hanks is in all this, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Would you be like, no way, Hot Rod?
It's no good for you, big guy. What did he say? Hide your worm? Put your worm away?
Yeah, hold on to your worm, asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. So I'm going to start telling people a lot of that mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they break in, and Beth is drugged. Super drugged.
Yeah. Oh, an opium, I'm assuming.
I mean, they have a
That's what they've got.
like a faucet container full of it. You want some opium? Just turn on the faucet.
And John's pretty cool with it. He's like, you're going to love me if I have to keep you doped up for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit said in this movie. That's definitely one of the lines. Like, I'm willing to keep you drugged up for all of eternity if that's the only way you'll love me. Collin noted when we were watching the movie, the creepiest line is Tom Hanks to Rita Wilson. Basically, is like, let's sleep together. And she turns him down, and his reply was, well, I've put in like enough, what was it, like hours?
Yeah, I put in the hours.
Yeah, super gross. So, yeah, this movie's dated as far as things go. There's definitely racial terms that need to be updated. Toon references himself as Oriental, super outdated. Like, a lot of this would be needed to be cleaned up if this was made today by any means.
There were a handful of racial comments that I think I'd have to like look up to really understand what they meant. Like I was like I know this is racist, but I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
And in a way, I would assume that's pretty good. That you don't, I mean, I don't mean that in a weird way, that like, you don't know what that meant. Like, people were like, let's just remove this from our lexicon. We don't need these kind of words. That's super cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
They're back now.
And they're in the castle. So I don't know. They're kind of just fumbling their way around. Toon is getting weird vibes from some kind of sumo-esque guards.
Well, yeah, his role was to go distract the guards by bumming a cigarette because all the guards seem to really love him for some reason. And when he stumbles in there and is like, "You guys got a cigarette?" They pull him out of their armpits, I think.
Oh yeah.
But they're all like, "Yeah, we got a cigarette for you, little boy."
What if I told you he was the John Legend of Thailand?
I'd believe it.
He did say he was hot shit.
Yeah.
Boom. I don't even know what to say to that. I learned something today about this movie.
Would you say, "Believe it, Hot Rod"?
It's no good for you, big guy. He says it so sincerely. Like that's my favorite part. Like, it's your friend saying it. Like he loves you. Like, he wouldn't say it unless he had to. You could just totally tell. Damn it.
It was from the heart.
He's so good. He's so good.
But his distraction works, and Lawrence is able to sneak his way into the room where Beth is being held, and ends up getting into a final showdown with John.
We think it's a final showdown.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, John is just going insane. He's breaking all this furniture. He's doing all this weird stuff. Luck would have it, Toon breaks down a door, and it distracts John enough that Tom Hanks is able to clock him over the head with, some table leg.
Yeah.
And then John is taken out. Beth is just high AF, and he grabs her, and they're running around. They're running through all these doors and mazes. They're running through bathrooms. You see Chung Mi just sitting on the toilet, very odd, and then they shut the door. Sorry.
Yeah, it's basically Scooby-Doo
yeah.
is what we got.
Scooby-Doo in bathrooms and weird areas. They eventually get to a upper story room that leads to the river, and they all jump. Well, they're thrown or jump out, and the guards just go, wave their hands and walk off. I thought, weird move, but I guess maybe their boss is like, who cares? We'll kill them tomorrow. But, I mean, they're just right there.
Yeah.
Like 10 feet down. There's probably other guards down there. I don't know.
Well, they're like, big sumo guys. It's probably a little harder for them to swim to the shore.
I was just assuming they were called down to probably other guards down there. Like, hey, Joe.
Sure. He's right there in the river. Sure.
River Guard 3.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Quimbies. They don't know what they're doing.
Fucking Quimbies.
So they go back to the village, and the plan is they've got to escape. Toon says he's going to take his grandfather. Tom Hanks says, good, make sure he could bring some of my liquor, and I'm going to bring my liquor. And Rita Wilson, Beth, is very upset about this. What about the people? And she says, Toon says, hey, these people were never really cool on the bridge to begin with. We didn't want it. You built it. And then it comes down to the realization of, okay, let's tear it down. Let's explode that bridge.
Yeah. That solves everything. Town can go back to normal. No drug lords, no communists. Easy peasy.
Yeah, for some reason they have a bunch of dynamite.
Yeah, obviously. How do you build a bridge?
Tom Tuttle highlights that one well-placed charge would blow up the whole thing. I do understand more what he means by that when we do see the setup.
Yeah.
That if, like, in the middle you have this, like, more massive charge, it will domino effect to the other charges. Is that...
No, that is true. Just worth mentioning, Tom Tuttle is freaking the fuck out, but they brainwash him by slapping the shit out of him.
Yes. So at first he's saying all this good advice, like, we're going to do this. But he has mixed philosophies and mixed political agendas competing in his mind now. He's like, yeah, of course we're going to blow up the bridge. Like, we can't blow up the bridge. Like, we need people to cross the bridge, and they need to learn about the People's Army. And they're like, whoa, dude. And then, yeah, Mike's right. They slap the shit out of him. They slap him right into shape. Mm-hmm. So we think. And he's back on their side, and he's like, yes, let's get this done.
Yeah, let's do it. He's so ashamed of himself.
He is. He should be.
Literally slapped some sense into him.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to.
And the villagers are stoked. They're like, we're going to dynamite this.
Like, we have to blow something up and not have a bridge? This is win-win.
So everyone unites pretty quickly, and then they rig all the explosives. And basically the way they have it is, I don't know how long the bridge is. I'm terrible at telling distances by eyes. But imagine, the bridge was, I'm going to make it up, 500 feet. Every, 50 feet, there's some kind of charge or a piece of dynamite. And then we're going to blow up the middle one. And again, the domino effect would happen. Are they purposefully waiting for the bad guys to show up? I don't really understand the timing. Did I miss why they're timing it in a certain way?
No, I think it's coincidence.
It is. That's what I was wondering. So Collin, you're saying, like, the Red Army and then, like, the bad guy criminal syndicate, them showing up, that is just like, whoops, like, our time's up.
Yeah, I think it's like, word gets out to everyone that the bridge is complete, so they all kind of plan to come next day.
Yeah, like the army is coming from one side, the drug lords are coming from the other. And
the only reason I'm asking is I personally wouldn't want to be there when one of those groups rolls up. They see that happen, and then they look right, and I'm, like, in the bushes, like, oh.
Yeah, holding the dynamite plunger. Like,
whoops.
Nothing.
So you still on for poker later?
Yeah. Thanks for the ticket.
I learned some new games. Deuces could always be wild for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but problem, the bridge does not go off. So yes, I guess this is all coincidental that all of these groups are there. And so Tom Hanks has already shown that he truly is invested. He's doing this for Rita. He's doing this, or Rita Wilson, Beth. He's doing this for the villagers. He is committed. So he climbs up a rope sideways, Mike? I
don't know. Yeah, he volunteers to go, reconnect the faulty wire. But I mean, maybe it's because someone's coming from one side of the bridge. But he takes the longest way to get there and rappels up the bridge on a rope.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that there's a bunch of Jeeps on this side. There's a bunch of Jeeps on the other side. It's the only way you can get there without running into a bunch of other people. But maybe it's the stupidest fucking way to get onto a bridge.
It took him a long time.
Well, he gets there, and the bombs are not connected yet. He is fooling around as much as he can, and boom, John shows up. You thought he was dead. You thought he was knocked out. You thought he was one of the sides. He is not. He is straight up on the bridge. Again, wanting to kick the crap out of Tom Hanks.
And he does.
He does for a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah. Well, he's got Mike with him.
Yeah, and then Tom Hanks throws the oldest trick in the book. He says, like, look up, there's some kind of plane. And this is a terrible scene. Like, this is straight up terrible. I almost said Mike, but that's his knife. That John's like, what? Where? Like, super slow. Like, super, I'm going to take 30 seconds to do this. And then Tom Hanks pushes him off the bridge. And then jumps off the bridge, and everyone sees this, and they blow up the bridge. Yeah. But yeah, there's a plane in the air. I don't think the joke itself was terrible, but how long it took and how kind of deliberate the response was. Like, what are you talking about? What? And then look up. I was like, too long, bro. Shorten it.
Yeah.
Like, this was the kind of guy who was able to react immediately to, any scuffle he was in previously.
Yeah.
He should have been able to deflect this.
Yeah, good call, Collin. This is what I'm going to know it like this. In all the action movies where you see like a snake jumps out at someone and someone very calmly grabs it with one hand, and then the camera pans over and the guy's holding the snake and he's like, you just got to pay attention. That is who John is up until this one moment. Like, what?
Right. Like, what? A doy? A plane?
Planes? They use gasoline?
They do.
Chlorophyll. Chloroform. Like boroform. But yeah, so do we ever see John again? Is he just
he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we see him again. I don't know what happens to a lot of these people at the end. I mean, the Red Army saw what you did. They don't seem like a massive threat with violence in this movie.
No.
So I don't know what they would do. The gang leaders, what happens to all of them?
They just kind of roll their eyes and go home, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There doesn't seem to be a real resolve for them.
No, they for sure, like, this whole, like, they totally just jump and miss every kind of possible consequence to blowing up this bridge.
Yeah.
Like, these drug lords should be murdering people in the village.
Oh, sure.
They could rebuild this bridge in about a week, evidently, because
Mm-hmm.
So, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm very confused about kind of what happens at the end, but it was very clear that we need to get wrapping up and we're going to have one more after scene. I think the authorities are brought in. I think there might be like a really quick clip or maybe something noted that like someone's arrested or the drug lord was kicked out of town or something. I really feel something was said, but it was like very briefly, and I'm still wondering as an audience member, like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But now it's later. I don't know how much later, maybe months, maybe a year. But Tom Hanks is still there, and he's writing a letter home, and he's highlighting that everything that he's done actually has built character, and he has changed, and this has been the best experience of his life. He's no longer selfish. He's driven for people, and with that said and done, he's going to be opening the first casino in Thailand in the area, and maybe his dad could come and visit, and so still scheming. But they show him, everyone seems happy. Toon is at the village. The village seems better, in better shape.
Yeah.
Everyone seems super happy, and I don't know, they're smiling and lovey.
So the village, they didn't need access to like the outside world or healthcare vis-a-vis the bridge. What they were really aching for was some kind of gambling.
I don't see what the problem is.
No.
I think we've solved everything. If you've seen The Simpsons, you know a couple things about margin gambling. It's all good.
Well, I mean, this movie is basically the episode of The Simpsons where Homer has to flee to an island to escape from Betty White and the PBS prize parade because he makes a fake donation, and he ends up setting up a casino.
Oh, well, I forgot. Mike is a huge fan of elephants. So not does he own open a casino, he's going to have other attractions, including the nightly elephant races.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
It would be sweet, yeah. You wouldn't go to this town? I would. They got a casino now, and elephant
maybe
racing.
now.
Yeah.
I'd kind of feel bad for the elephants. Like, if racing them hurts their knees or something, I'd feel a little bad.
Oh, sure, but what if they're into it?
Yeah, if they're into it,
They like
I'm
it,
into
yeah.
it. They're into it. I'm
Yeah.
It's not a very
yeah.
fast race. They're not trying.
It's not about speed.
Yeah,
It's about style.
it is.
I really loved the moral of this movie, where if you are rich and a little aloof and you double down on your insincerity, things will work out.
Yeah.
If you got a hint of some waspy funds you could dip into, that will also ease your journey anywhere. I learned that by pulling connections and having unlimited funds of money. Not me personally, just observing this movie.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the final, view of it all, as noted before, if you want to reach out to us, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. I noted before that someone had an idea. We also have our friend Reg who might join us. So he has another movie idea. I told this to Mike, and hopefully he'll join us in the future. But yeah, we love movie ideas. Reach out to us via email. You can go to rabbittroopsucks.com, our website proper. You could stream there, but you could stream our podcast episodes anywhere on Earth from pretty much any kind of device, Google, Apple, whatever, Amazon, all those fun things. Hit us up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're into. Suggest a movie to us. I've been kind of trying to note that if you have a Halloween movie, let's get this going. I'll offer someone a shot glass. We'll send it to you. Get us a movie. Mike, you got a plug too.
Oh, yeah. As mentioned last week, tomorrow, that's right. Yeah, it's tomorrow. My band, The Picture Tour, will be playing at Roxy Broadway in Denver. So come see me.
You say hi to Mike. You can bring him drinks. He likes back rubs.
And my offer from last week still stands. If someone who I don't know who is a listener brings this up to me, I'll give you a shot glass.
And my offer stands that I am an introvert shadow.
Yeah, Paul doesn't want to talk to anybody.
Well, Collin, I'm going to start with you. You were the only one to have not seen this film. Again, I don't mean this as a bad way. And please note, whatever you say about any film, this goes to all of our guests, that we like people who have not seen some of our films, a different perspective. Like, if Mike doesn't like a lot of films that I like, but that's good. If we all like the same stuff, this would be super boring. What is your end view on Volunteers, 1985?
I thought it was super funny. It definitely made me laugh. I loved the writing. I loved a lot of the dialogue. I kind of wish they would double down on some of the possible recurring jokes, like the Mike knife. Like they missed a couple scenes where he could have been like, "Oh, Mike's my knife."
Mike.
There's a couple other things that they could have hammered on a little bit more, and I think it would have risen the comedy level. Some of the overall, it's a little overdone. Some of the racism parts, but that's just part of it being super old. I probably would never go out of my way to watch this movie again, but I am totally glad that I did.
Tight. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go. Mike, you're going to go last. Take that.
Okay.
I'm just going to, because mine will be brief, I'm going to pretty much echo a lot of what Collin said. Outside of, I would totally watch this movie again. I own this movie. I'd gladly watch it. I wouldn't watch it all the time. This is not my favorite John Candy film. This is not my favorite Tom Hanks film. This is not my favorite Gedde Watanabe film. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. But I think it all comes together and it's a lot of fun. Really, for me, when it gets into about 35 minutes into the film, this movie is really, really fun for me. Once I get to the island and things just start going, like I'm 100% in. I don't regret them having the background at college and setting up the story. I mean, it's good, and I'm laughing through that. But the real like sweet part for me is those areas. Like the jokes are funny. I just like Tom Hanks kind of trying, but also doing things for devious purposes. It just works well for me. What are you thinking, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've seen this movie many, many times. It's not a yearly view for me, but like this is like a maybe once every 3 year viewing. And like Collin, going into it, seeing it for the first time now, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like I first saw this movie when I was 6, probably. Yeah. So like, I mean, this has just been a part of my life, my whole life, and I like it a lot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't. A lot of the language doesn't really hold up to today's standards. And there are some odd filmmaking choices, like the fucking subtitle gag. But it's just like the movie's fun for me start to finish. Everyone does a good job, I think.
You know, the subtitle gag, I'm going to honestly have to think about it.
I loved it.
No, I did as well. I mean, it hits right, but it comes out of nowhere.
It's true.
Like, there's nothing else of that nature in this movie.
Like they do a couple other kind of goofy things that they could get rid of easier, like the map parts.
Yeah.
And then when the red guys are looking over through the forest and binoculars, they have like they have a black screen with 5 sets of binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely some of this movie could have been cleaned up. I mean, as we noted, due to age and various other things. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think we all had a good time. Coming up next, we get Michael J. Fox in The Hard Way. And I'm really excited because I love Michael J. Fox. And I'm not going to lie to you, I also really like this film. And I think this is one of his most overlooked decent films. And I say that because I encourage people to watch this film before they listen or, do whatever you want.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This movie is rated R. I want to be pretty upfront about that. I don't want to say too much. At the heart, it is a comedy, but it's definitely an action comedy with profanity every which way. James Woods is amazing, and LL Cool J is in it. We got Luis Guzman's in it.
Fuck yeah! Finally, a Luis Guzman movie.
When you get Luis Guzman, it should be a day of celebration. So, yeah. But again, reach out to us. We had a lot of fun reviewing this movie. We like to go through different decades, and yeah, next time we're going to start a little 90s trend for a few weeks because we have a little bit of a list going. But we're going to start 1991 the hard way. So. Yeah, anything you guys want to add? Anything you're excited about? You're like, we could do it, Colorado. We're here together. You guys are going to go get some flapjacks. We talked about Village Inn last time. Then I was texting Collin about Village Inn.
I could eat some Village Inn.
Yeah. I was the one by my that we used to go to as kids is totally still there.
Totally?
Yeah.
Yeah, so take that. You know what we could do outside of, reminiscing and celebrating Village Inn pies? You could send us a pie from your bakery that is locale, and I would gladly, with these gentlemen, each have a slice and tell the world that they should buy your pie after we deem it delicious.
Yeah.
So, boom, we work for pie.
We do.
I want the delivery of this pie to be somewhat legitimate, though.
Like a bakery. Well, I mean, I would assume that if someone actually did that, they'd be like, you could pick up a pie at my bakery.
Because as you mentioned during the How High episode, if you just found fudge on your porch, you're not eating it.
No.
So like, if you opened your door tomorrow and there was a pie, and there was like, hey, thanks for the shout out, here's a pie. Would you eat that pie, or do you need a handoff from a human?
I'm shutting this down on multiple levels. Like I wouldn't have answered the door. The lights are already off.
Oh yeah, if you have a pie, bring it to my house. Paul doesn't want to talk to you.
I don't want you showing up at my house with pies. That would be alarming for me.
I would like you to show up at my house with a pie.
That's the band request. But as we're dipping out for tonight, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks
and likes pie.